Mother Akasha's eternal rose to life. It is I, known to the world as Mother Mary, who greet you this day, and I am eternally grateful to your beloved Mother Akasha and to each of you for finding acceptance of my own reality that has not diminished from this earth. For my presence has remained closer to human beings' recognition of my existence than they realize, and the time has arrived where we will come closer to each of you, because you have given us an open door through your attention upon the Ascended Master realms to pour our great love to you. I have two things that I wish to draw to your attention today, two activities. First, you are growing in your awareness and acceptance as being part of the great family of Mother Akasha, of the divine nature of the rose, the flower that represents the very heart of creation itself. In coming to you today, I have been asked to project into your hearts the fragrance, the essence of the rose. Well, I trust that your beloved Mother Akasha knows that I have some experience in this. Science yet knows not the great family of flowers and how they represent some of the divine qualities of life. In my time as Jesus Christ's mother, I worked with Jesus' flower, that you may know is the lily, which represents the golden light. And for years, I charged the fragrance of the lily into the hearts and minds of many that otherwise would not have opened to his great light and his love. The success of projecting the fragrance of the lily into many individuals at that time proved that this opened the hearts of many to the life and teachings of my son and his accomplishments. As I come to each of you, I have been asked by Mother Akasha to project the radiance of the rose, the essence of the rose, the fragrance of the rose, and the music of the rose into your physical hearts. In doing so, this will assist the innermost chamber of your hearts opening to the greatest love of all, the love of the Mother's presence, the love of the soul that is ready now for greater expression in your human lives through the physical heart. I ask you to know and accept that I know all the divine activities of these things, and I know the way into the heart of each of you. And all that is required in this moment is for you to rest, if you will, your fingertips over your heart, and in your own words silently indicate to me, Mary, offering me permission to project into the inner chambers of your heart my own rose ray and the rose essence. And there inside the inner chambers of your heart, through the projection of my love, I offer there the radiance, the essence, and the fragrance, and the music of the rose, the eternal flower of grace, the eternal flower of the Divine Mother and Soul. I ask, as you rest your fingers over your heart for these few moments, that you may feel, that you may use your memory in this moment to bring into your consciousness, your awareness, the memory of the fragrance of roses. And may you allow memory to be that bridge that I use, whether it is a memory of a walk in a rose garden, whether it is inhaling the fragrance of roses, whatever memory comes to mind. Just rest your attention upon that memory with your fingers over your heart, and let I, Mary, use that memory as a bridge of acceptance in which my rose ray projects right into the inner chambers of your hearts, where I place the essence, the fragrance, the aroma, the music, the memory of the rose of the Mother's presence of divine love. And may that rose fragrance be the open door to magnetize the greatest love of all, the love of the Mother's presence, to find greater expression through your physical heart, a love that in time nothing in yourself or this world could ever deny. Through my own ascension, I use my authority, and I feel such an open acceptance in all of you and no resistance. And therefore, may you feel that my rose love, Mother Akasha's rose love, which is divine love from the heart of creation, the great central sun. And may the essence, the fragrance, the radiance of that rose be held in your own hearts moving forward, and be that gentle, welcoming presence that opens the door, opens the way for the love of your own individualized God presence to expand the presence of love immortal and its gentle waves unfolding in all your life and all your days upon the earth. And so it is. Relax now, precious rose hearts of love's eternal presence, and rejoice that in this moment, that the radiance and the fragrance of the eternal rose has been given great assistance within your heart this day. The second activity that I wish to bring to your attention is one that many of you are aware of. For I see that there are some amongst you who faithfully enter into the Ascended Master's consciousness and meditation. To make yourselves so still and invite an Ascended Master's consciousness to enter into you through the heart, the mind, and the nerve channels. I see some of you have been faithful in this, and that you set aside that ideal 10 minutes a day to be filled with this great gift to life. And I also see that there are some who are not aware of this gift, and I see that there are those yet to be convinced of such a great gift that could assist your journey into higher consciousness and enlightenment. And therefore, I, Mary, have come to encourage and have come to advance your awareness of how you can use the Ascended Master's consciousness. And I wish to invite each of you not only to continue to enter into a dedicated 10 minutes of silence in which you pour your love to your presence and into the Ascended Master realms, and then you are welcoming us to fill you with our Ascended Master consciousness. I come to expand your awareness of what this great gift is, and now to encourage you not to wait until that moment in which you give 10 minutes of your time to enter the silence of the Ascended Master's consciousness meditation. Yes, open, call, receive, and be filled with this great gift for 10 minutes each day. Yet I encourage each of you to just begin to call in your daily life the Ascended Master's consciousness and our sacred fire love's purity into yourselves, your beings, and into your worlds. So yes, enter the meditation, yet equally make this call to us once a day. For there is so much that we wish to offer you in your great journey of awakening and becoming. I see there is not enough awareness of what is inside this great gift that we come back again and again to offer into your use. So therefore, may I remind you that our Ascended Master consciousness contains infinite light. It has all the love and perfection of the universe in perfect, balanced activity. It has within it every activity of the sacred fire, including the great heart flames that abide within the heart of an ascended being. It has within it the violet-colored flames that are the purifying flames of divine love, as well as the sevenfold creator flames of the seven mighty Elohim. So all of these combined activities of the sacred fire love's purifying, resurrecting, and ascending presence is all part of our Ascended Master's consciousness. Beloved hearts of love, if you will invite myself, Mary, or any Ascended Master, after you pour your love to your own presence, and then extend your attention into our great realm of light, the fifth dimension, and call upon us to just fill you with our Ascended Master consciousness. And then enter into a meditative silence of such receptivity for 8-9 minutes that you might receive this gift in the silence. Then, as you go on about your day, and as you gain momentum of doing this every day, you will begin to experience some wonderful results. And if always, as you move throughout your day, from one thing to another, if you would just stop for a moment, still yourself, steady your feelings, pour your love into the flame in your heart, pour your love up to your presence, and then pour your love to one of us in the Ascended Master realms, and call upon us to charge your minds, bodies, and feelings, to keep your life overflowing with the Ascended Master's consciousness. And then you can charge our Ascended Master's consciousness and sacred fire love into every condition that you're involved in, and into all your relationships, to give you everything you need and require. Our Ascended Master consciousness has every activity that we use in our great realms of life in full, balanced activity. It is your time now in your journey to higher states of consciousness, beloved hearts, to no longer linger in feelings of struggle, in feelings that suggest human distressing emotions. It is time to face these seeming realities in your world. And I ask you, if you would just take this moment and speak the following inwardly and quietly to yourself. Why am I allowing myself to remain in distressing human qualities or emotions when at any moment I could take 2 minutes, still myself, still my feelings, remind myself that these distressing limitations or problems or failures, that they all have their roots in human consciousness. And now I am being offered the Ascended Master's consciousness, that it may grow in my life. Therefore, I come to you, beloved Mary, accepting this great gift that is the Ascended Master's consciousness, that has every activity of the sacred fire, that has the great cosmic light, that must strengthen my brain, that must grow in my heart, and that must pass through the nerves of my body. If my body is to have the defense system it requires to throw off the limited human consciousness. I understand this. If my mind is to be open and become aware of divine ideas that are waiting to come forth as my part of the incoming new civilization, if the shadow of confusion and uncertainty is to leave me, if I am to achieve full enlightenment in this life journey, then the sooner I welcome and accept the Ascended Master's consciousness flowing into my life, more quickly will the human consciousness and its limitations diminish and enlightenment will come. The safest way that I can light up my brain, the safest way that I can expand the light in my heart so the inner chambers of love can flow again, the safest way that I can increase and expand the liquid light that passes through the nerve channels of this body is this great gift that is being offered by Mother Mary, the Ascended Master's consciousness, that has every great activity the Ascended Ones use in perfect, balanced design. Therefore, I seek to know, not to linger in emotions that distress me. Once again, I seek not to linger in emotions that distress me. I seek not to continue to understand, to try to understand that which distresses me. I seek not to continue to battle problems and experience failures, to solve one problem humanly only to have another problem show up somewhere else. I seek now to pour my love to my presence and to invite and experience the Ascended Master's consciousness growing in my mind, my heart, and my life. Deep breath, precious heart. And so as I continue to discourse with you for this moment, our gifts, we have come, we have offered. We even come to you as the Word made flesh. And to remind you, beloved hearts, that when we were on your earth, we suffered too, as you have suffered at times. Yet we proved life, and you are asked to seize the opportunity and to prove life in the life you have been given. And after all of this, with all the times that we have come, the gifts that we offer, there is still a resistance in setting aside that time, in reaching up and asking, accepting, receiving, and being filled with what would bring an end to all of human problems, distress, appearances, limitations, and failure. I encourage each of you, beloved rose hearts, I encourage you not to let the pressure of the world convince you that you don't have the time. Don't allow the pressure of the world to convince you that these things don't work. All you have to do is cooperate with the law. Ask, and ye shall receive. And that means set aside some time each day to enter into the Ascended Master's meditation. I know that Mother Akasha has chosen that every month the students of the Radiant Rose Academy would together meditate upon the same Master. This information is available on the Academy website, known as the Ascended Master's Meditations. When you find this area, you will see each month of the year, and each month is set aside and designed or dedicated to one Ascended Master. You, if you like, can follow this guideline. We just love to come and offer you all of our gifts. All that we know will help you. Yet you must use your free will. Accept that these gifts are real and know that it is not hard work we ask from you. We ask only a momentum, that you give these wonderful activities the chance. What is a momentum? Well, it's just that not one day would pass that you would not joyfully steady yourselves, turn within, rise above, and fill yourself with these great powers that could correct every condition you seem to face, whether it be in your minds, in your emotions, your bodies, your lives, or in your world. Why, at this point in life, would you want to understand the things that are wrong? Would you want to understand what is distressing? Why would you want to understand the problems that don't seem to allow your minds or your bodies or your feelings to work that well? Why do you not desire to just desire the correction of all these conditions? What are you afraid of? Because, my dear hearts, there is so much pressure in the outer world of humanity that you do not remember that our Ascended Master consciousness when it gets inside you, it is a pressure of light. It is a pressure of love. It is a pressure of every activity of the sacred fire. That once it gets inside you and it grows and it gains a momentum, just gracefully pushes out of you everything that never had a right in the first place to be a part of your life, including the disintegration of the human biological form. There is so much pressure, and there are those terrifying forces and their insanity that believe they can impose fascism back into this world. And there are certainly those things in the world that, if they get too much of your attention, becomes an open door, where once again you begin to experience some fear and doubt. And the truth is that fear and doubt can lead to such dire distress. Well, precious hearts, just as I, Mother Mary, I know my way inside each of you. Well, sadly, fear and doubt knows its way inside each of you as well, because of its terrifying momentum in human experience. Oh, beloved rose hearts, do not dismay if you feel that you are not where you would have liked to be at this time. Everything you can do to sweeten the fragrance of God's love inside your minds, inside your bodies, inside your feelings and your life will prove worthy of whatever time it takes. You know, I realize you might not think it proper of me to speak in the way that I will. Yet I say to you, there is a thing in the human world that has a stench to it. And where I offer you, and others offer you, the fragrance of the rose and the great flowers of life, do you understand this word stench? It is something that stinks, doesn't it? It is something that is simply not a pleasant smell. Correct? Well, dear hearts, remember, your bodies are formed of the elements of the earth. And I have been compelled, and I have witnessed firsthand the stench of human hatred that has imposed itself upon the elements of this earth. And if you only knew the stench of human emotions, of doubt, fear, anger, and the family of human qualities, negative qualities, that come from fear, such as anxiety and irritation and jealousy, which can lead to rage. I assure you, you do not want to smell the stench of those qualities once they get inside the physical body. And I mention this because there is not yet the appropriate awareness of what is causing your bodies to sometimes act and to be in pain and to break down. When are those pools of stench, of hatred, of fear, of doubt, that exists as pockets of psychological, emotional energy in the physical body. I have witnessed this firsthand, and I say to you, dear hearts, we know what causes the problems in people's lives. In so many areas, you have already advanced in such great attainment, and yet there is not the sufficient awareness that so much of human history that was distressing had so many centuries to gain its momentum upon the people of earth. And we wish to convince you that when you love your presence and you turn to us, your ascended master brothers and sisters, our powers do not require centuries of momentum. Our powers require 100% acceptance by you through your use of your free will. Now, because we don't always receive 100% acceptance of your will, because yet there is some doubt, some disbelief, and this becomes an obstacle to receiving all of our great gifts. And sometimes what can be an obstacle, beloved hearts, are feelings that you sometimes have. Feelings such as, I don't deserve. Feelings that I am being judged upon by my Creator. Feelings of unworthiness. All of these things are human beliefs and emotions which opposes what could be an instantaneous activity and fulfillment of our Ascended Master consciousness, producing the results in yourselves and your lives that you desire. Yet in taking all these things into consideration, in other words, taking the human into consideration, where one can have moments of delightful happiness, and then one can have moments in which you second-guess yourself, or the pressures of the world sometimes make you feel so tired. You don't yet even understand, dear hearts, that when you let your physical bodies get tired, how that weakens a delicate membrane in the feeling body. And if you allow your physical body to get too tired, you are unaware that this creates an open door in your feeling body, where many of the wrong emotions in the feeling side of the world find their way in getting inside of you. And so I say this: if you present me, Mother Mary, with every condition in your life, and you might say something to me like the following: Mary, would you be conscious that I perhaps have an old momentum of some of these human problems that create a feeling of struggle that I've allowed myself to feel? If you, Mary, will take into consideration every problem that I've faced and all the times I've not been able to forgive myself, and all the times I have not been able to generate enough love of myself and this world. If you will take into consideration, Mary, all that has been difficult in my life, the problems, the limitations, the failures, the hopes, the dreams, the goals, and even my higher purpose, the divine plan of my life. If you will take all of this into consideration, beloved Mother Mary, and assess it all, so that you know how to assist me. And if you will do this, and if I also make that commitment to you, Mary, that a few times a day, whether I'm in the kitchen, whether I'm out in the world, that whenever I have a moment that I'm alone, I just still myself, I pour my love to my presence, I turn to the great Ascended Master realms, I pour my love to you, Mary, or any Ascended Master that I've come to love, and I say to you, Mary, I accept the great reality of the Ascended Master's consciousness, that are your lives in perfection, in divine balanced activity. And I come before you to be filled. I come to be filled with your Ascended Master consciousness, which will deliver such light, such love, and such sacred fire purifying activity into my being and world. And if I do this a few times each day, even when I don't feel like it, Mary, and I also enter into my 10-minute Ascended Master meditation each day, Mary, will you assist me? Deep breath. And yes, beloved heart, I will assist you. Now, dear hearts, sometimes students get too concerned or too focused on the results. And we understand why. We understand that you desire your lives and your worlds to change, to become better. We understand that if you try something, that you like to see results. Yet, if you become over-focused on the results, in an odd way, you get in your own way. Yet if you show up each day and do these things, the results will come. So in coming to you today, I am reminding you of the great gift that is the Ascended Master's consciousness. And so I'm also seeking to place an awareness that with all things considered, all that happens as you move your attention from one thing to another, as you yourselves yet have human moments, as there are times in which there may be some doubt, and you don't see it or know it until it's too late, and then it overwhelms you in some way. In light of all these things that you may face, and in light of all that you set aside for your spiritual growth, I, Mary, will stand your side. And so it seems to me that there must be a greater willingness on your part to set aside a few minutes several times a day. Again, I remind you, pour your love to your presence, turn your attention into the Ascended Master's octave, turn to one of us that you have come to love, and just call upon us to charge you, to fill you with our Ascended Master consciousness that has all perfection. It has all the cosmic light your brain requires to facilitate Christ consciousness. It has all the light your heart requires to be strengthened, to open the innermost chambers where love again can pour. It will expand the liquid light that passes through your nerve canals. So the Ascended Master's consciousness offers you an increase of life, where one of us will pour the liquid light, restore it in your nerve canals. So the three major areas that have been brought to your attention before and now, yet is that our Ascended Master Consciousness and our Sacred Fire Love carries every activity of the Sacred Fire. And since you are aware that in your great path of restoration and resurrection, this is not just about increasing the light. So when you increase the light in your brain, yes, your mind works more effectively. When you increase the light in your feeling side of life, then your rightful emotions or feelings that ought to match your thoughts can rise up instantly to assist you all that you wish to achieve and manifest. And with the increase of light in your central nerves, your body has what is required for a strong immune system, and if you so choose, to throw off the aging process and begin the great restoration of the physical body. And yet there is so much more that an Ascended Master's consciousness can do for you, when you consider, when you stop for a moment and consider. And yet even I, Mary, have offered where you cannot love. I have come before, and I have offered to love on your behalf. Where you cannot forgive, I have come and offered to forgive on your behalf, and the results will be the same. And so this, our Ascended Master Consciousness, would do for you. There is nothing the Ascended Master's Consciousness would not do for you. It would help you to forgive more yourselves. It would help you to love more, to generate love. Sometimes, because the mind is not yet fully enlightened, sometimes, dear heart, you do not know what is the right thing to do. And yet, if you invite our Ascended Master Consciousness and Sacred Fire Love into your minds and allow it to grow, you will soon come to realize that you always know what needs to be done, and that you have the means to do so. And also, this allowing our Ascended Master Consciousness pouring into your beings, your lives, your worlds, this allows what your own higher Christ mind, Christ consciousness, your own higher mental body wants to do for you if there was only an opening. Our Ascended Master Consciousness growing within you would create that opening. Do you know, dear hearts, that you could even call forth the Ascended Master's Consciousness into some wrong activity? It wouldn't expand that wrong activity. You know what it would do. It would undo that activity because of the Sacred Fire's purifying presence within it. It would correct that wrong activity. Beloved of Mother Akasha's family, the Ascended Master's Consciousness has everything of life within it. It has the original divine flame of the infinite I Am Presence individualized. It has the great light rays of our universe, and there is not one of the most divine melodies in the universe that is not held in the Ascended Master's consciousness. And so, you have everything that is being offered to you in the universe to correct everything or anything within yourselves and your worlds. We faced our own difficulties when we were on the earth, and we were so blessed to have great beings of light, such as the great Archangel Gabriel and that great cosmic avatar, Lord Maitreya. And we had these mighty beings that we could turn to. They taught us to turn to them and give them permission to fill our lives with their Ascended Master consciousness. And what a difference it did make. Are you prepared for lives of greater happiness? Are you prepared in each and every moment to know what is perfect action for you? Are you prepared in any moment to know what your physical bodies most require? Are you prepared to be the director of your own life? Are you prepared to understand that yes, your feelings need harmony, yet it is in your mind that you control the power of your attention, that you control all of your faculties? And I say to you, it is your time to receive your scepter of liberty and use these greatest of all powers that the Ascended Masters have waited and waited for centuries to make contact with enough of you, beloved hearts, and offer these jewels of freedom to each of you. What can we offer you that is beyond our Ascended Master's consciousness? It has everything within it. It is up to you. We will come, and I will never tire of reminding you of what will set you free, and the importance of calling these things every day until you see their remarkable blessings that unfold in your life. And when you see those blessings, you will simply desire to come to the great eternal well of life, as I did, as my son did, as we were taught to do. You will find the greatest joy of life is the joy of making yourself a vessel of life, and then being the director of that life through the choices and decisions that you make, being a blessing amongst humankind and this planet that needs your love. We have enough love in our realm to set all humankind and your planet and her kingdoms free. Yet we cannot do this without each of you to be a window of that love. I am Mary, and I will continue to offer my love, my forgiveness, where you seek to receive it on your behalf. I already sense and smell the beautiful fragrance of the rose heart that is within your physical hearts. May that beautiful fragrance, may it overwhelm any stench of old human emotions. May it overwhelm anything that is not of love and of light. May you love to love. May you love to look to us, to who are your guardians, to be filled. May you love to let go and surrender. And let us now do for you what you may not yet be able to do for yourselves. And we will be there. I will be there. I have never failed to respond to a sincere call, nor will I. For I am Mary, and I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Dear friends of love's eternal presence, Adonai, Adonai, Adonai.